These drinks look like the same coffee over ice. They are not even close. The difference can come from the brewing temperature, the coffee base, the cooling method, or what gets whipped, shaken, layered, or carbonated. So instead of memorizing dozens of names, we will decode them by base, texture, sweetness, and the trick that made each one viral. First, classic iced coffee. Regular coffee brewed hot, usually stronger than normal, then cooled or poured directly over ice. Its weakness is dilution. Pour ordinary strength hot coffee over melting ice, and a bold cup can become thin before you finish it. We have barely started, and my mouth is already watering. The most irresistible drinks are still ahead.
An iced Americano starts differently. Espresso is diluted with cold water and ice, preserving its sharper, roasted character and lighter body.
An iced latte replaces most of that water with milk, making the drink creamier, softer, and better at carrying sweet syrups. Japanese-style flash brew uses hot water to extract aroma, but brews directly onto a measured amount of ice. The coffee chills immediately without receiving extra, unplanned water. Cold brew does the opposite. Coarse coffee steeps in cool water for many hours, trading fast heat extraction for a slower, rounder, often more mellow result. Some cold brew is served ready to drink. Stronger concentrate is designed to be diluted with water or milk before serving. Nitro cold brew sends that coffee through nitrogen. Tiny bubbles create the famous cascading effect, a creamy head, and a smoother texture without requiring milk. The fastest comparison is this. Iced coffee tastes brewed. Americano tastes espresso forward. Cold brew tastes mellow, and nitro feels unusually creamy. So far, the difference was in the brew. Now air takes over, and one delicious accident began because there was no hot water. Then, social media discovered that coffee becomes much more dramatic when you add air. A shaken espresso combines hot espresso, ice, and usually some sweetness in a shaker. Agitation chills it quickly while trapping air and building a light foam. The brown sugar oat milk version adds cinnamon, brown sugar sweetness, and a small oat milk finish. It stays more coffee-forward than a full iced latte. The Greek frappé creates a much larger foam from instant coffee, water, and optional sugar. It is shaken or whipped before more water, ice, and sometimes milk are added. It reportedly began at a 1957 trade fair in Thessaloniki, when Dimitris Vakondios improvised because hot water was unavailable. Freddo espresso is the more modern Greek cousin. A double espresso is mixed aggressively with ice, producing a chilled, concentrated coffee capped with its own thin foam. Freddo Cappuccino uses that same coffee base, then adds a separate layer of thick, cold, textured milk foam. Dalgona Coffee reverses the structure. Milk and ice sit underneath, while equal-style portions of instant coffee, sugar, and water are whipped into a dense topping. Dalgona exploded globally in 2020 because it was simple, dramatic, and easy to recreate, while millions of people were staying home. Its real innovation was visual. Put the most textured, flavorful part on top, where the camera and your first sip cannot miss it. Foam made coffee photogenic. Now, a tiny metal filter turns patience into a seriously delicious reward. Vietnamese Café Suada combines strong coffee, sweetened condensed milk, and ice. Traditionally, the coffee slowly drips from a small metal fin filter. The fin matters because its slow gravity drip produces a concentrated cup that can remain noticeable through dense milk and melting ice. Condensed milk was practical before it became aesthetic. Its shelf stability made it useful where fresh dairy was scarce, while its sweetness balanced intense dark coffee. The iced Spanish latte uses espresso, ordinary milk, and condensed milk. It is essentially a sweeter, richer latte built for visible layers. Thai iced coffee, or oliang, traditionally begins with a dark roasted mixture that may include coffee and roasted grains. Milk or condensed milk softens its bitterness. Indonesia's es coffee Susu follows a similarly adaptable formula: strong coffee, milk or creamer, sweetness, and plenty of ice. Dirty coffee removes the extra ice. Hot espresso lands directly on very cold milk, creating marbled layers and a deliberate hot-cold contrast.
3 elegant creations are coming, but ignore the color. Watch the top layer. It will decide exactly how that first sip tastes.
An iced caramel macchiato is layered in the opposite order from a latte: vanilla milk first, espresso above it, and caramel across the top. Cold foam changed the top layer again. Cold milk is aerated into a silky cap designed to float above iced coffee.
Sweet cream cold foam adds vanilla and richness, letting a dark coffee remain visible while each sip passes through a dessert-like top layer.
Once foam became a flavor platform, cafes could swap in pumpkin, lavender, chocolate, salted caramel, or almost any seasonal idea without rebuilding the drink underneath. We have been restrained long enough. Chocolate, whipped cream, and frozen coffee are next, and these drinks stop pretending they are not desserts. An iced mocha is simply the chocolate branch of the latte family. Espresso, chocolate sauce, milk, and ice, often finished with whipped cream. White mocha replaces cocoa-forward bitterness with a sweeter white chocolate sauce, producing a paler and more dessert-like iced latte. Frozen blended coffee changes the physical structure completely. Coffee, milk, flavoring, and ice are pulverized into one thick, uniform, milkshake-like drink. The Frappuccino turned that format into a customizable category. Introduced nationally by Starbucks in 1995, it began with coffee and mocha versions before expanding into elaborate flavors.
Just when coffee could not get richer, the next drinks lose the milk and borrow from lemonade, soda, and the mocktail bar.
Mazagran takes coffee in a lighter direction. The historic cold drink combines coffee and water, while modern regional versions may add sugar, lemon, mint, or carbonation.
Espresso Tonic replaces milk with tonic water. The result is cold, carbonated, citrusy, and doubly bitter from espresso and the tonic's quinine.
Espresso Orange pushes the same idea further by pouring coffee over orange juice. The sweetness softens bitterness, while the acidity makes the drink feel brighter than a latte.
Now the rules disappear. Coffee becomes dessert, custard, and coconut slush, and later one version behaves more like a workout snack.
Affogato sits between coffee and dessert. Hot espresso poured over cold gelato, creating bitter, sweet, solid, and melted textures at once. The iced Einspänner places dense, lightly sweetened cream over strong coffee, forcing every sip through a luxurious top layer. Vietnamese egg coffee whips yolk, sugar, and condensed milk into custard-like foam, then places it above strong coffee, sometimes served iced. Vietnamese coconut coffee tops intense coffee with a frozen blend of coconut milk, condensed milk, and ice. Part coffee, part tropical slushy. Vietnamese coconut coffee tops intense coffee with a frozen blend of coconut milk, condensed milk, and ice. Part coffee, part tropical slushy. Cloud Coffee builds on that trend by floating frothed espresso and cream over coconut water, creating soft foam that drifts downward like clouds.
Cloud Coffee was only the warm-up. Next comes steam wand foam, protein coffee, and finally an ingredient most people eat with a spoon.
The Aerocano uses a steam wand to aerate espresso, cold water, and ice, producing nitro-like foam without a nitrogen system. Protein coffee turns the drink into a functional snack by using protein-enriched milk, blended protein, or a flavored protein cold foam. The divisive yogurt coffee trend mixes cold brew, Greek yogurt, coconut water, cinnamon, and salt into something tangy, creamy, and unmistakably unusual. Blueberry syrup, banana bread spices, purple ube foam, or nutty tahini can all use the same iced latte skeleton. Here, the viral invention is the flavor and appearance, not a new brewing method.
You have seen the wildest drinks. Now let us find the one you should actually order.
That reveals the secret. Viral coffees change the base, texture, flavor, or presentation. For black and refreshing, choose Flash Brew, Americano, Cold Brew, Coconut Americano, or Tonic. For creamy but coffee forward, choose a shaken espresso, dirty coffee, Freddo, or restrained latte. For dessert, choose Mocha, condensed milk coffee, frozen blends, coconut coffee, or an Affogato. Texture climbs from still coffee to shaken foam, cold foam, whipped frappe, then frozen slush. One final trap. Color cannot reveal strength. The palest glass may still surprise you. Caffeine varies widely. For most adults, the FDA cites 400 milligrams a day. Control sweetness by requesting fewer syrup pumps, unsweetened coffee, or the foam on the side. The smartest order starts with the experience you want, not whichever name is trending today. Brew, chill, aerate, layer, blend. Every viral iced coffee combines those 5 moves differently. Now you can recognize the trick before the first sip. Subscribe for more everyday things fully explained.